Hello and welcome to another live on Wednesday evening. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying Sundays and Sandra and Crafton. But hey, we're in YouTube tonight. It's Wednesday. Today has been kind of all over the place, really. So I'm pleased to be here, but I've got a very quick project for you tonight. So we might chat a bit. I've got a couple of other samples already done, and I'm going to be casing the catalogue today. Now, casing is when it can be called copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So it's a case of I'm going to go through the catalogue. This item is one that is retiring. It's still available as of today. So I just wanted to come in and do a little highlight for you because it's saving you money. Okay, let's get you down onto the table and we'll see where we are. So there we go. Oh, you've gone across with a blank screen. There we go. You can see me there now. So I'm going to just pop you there. So I'm going to be looking in the current catalogue. You know, I've done a sneak peek with you about the new one coming. And tonight I'm going to be using Sending Hugs. Now that's this set here. I'm going to bring that up to the catalogue to you. So this set here is the lovely, beautiful die set. I'm going to be making this card tonight from the catalogue. Sometimes when we're in a hurry and we need a card or our mojo goes or something like that, it's a good idea to look back at the catalogue and even previous ones as well and have a look to see, actually, oh, I've got that set, I could make that card, or just change it up a little bit. So this one here, I'm going to keep to the base colour and I'm going to grab whatever colours I can lay my hands on. Okay, I have got a little sneak peek as well. So let's just get that one open. I've tied this catalogue up in knots, I think. So let's just close that and leave that over to one side. Over there. There we go. So I am going to use the same pool party that they have in the catalogue. So I'm going to take out a whole sheet of card. Now, I think it's Pool Party. It could be Balmy Blue, but this is the one I've chosen today. Hi, Shaz, lovely to see you. So I'm going to make this as and Carol, lovely as well. Got two of you here. Shall I do this as a tent or I think I shall do this as a standard card. So I'm going to cut this in half. So for us in the metric, we're 1.5 millimeters under the 15. So we're 14.85 really. So, and then we're going to score it in half this way at 10.5 centimeters. So if you're watching from overseas or on replay, then you need to just be doing half a sheet and score it in half. So that's that one. And this will be one layer that I am going to just crease that one for our base card. In fact, you know what? I could actually take that from here. I'm going to be cutting, the next one is going to be a layer to go on top of that one. So we want it to be just a tad smaller. So I go down half a centimetre. So I'm going to take that down to 10 centimetres and then along here at 14.3. Now this layer we're going to, it's not embossing and it's not die cutting, but it's in between. So that's going to be a riddle for you. So let's do that bit first. I'll take this out of the way just for the time being. Hopefully that won't smash to the floor. So this layer I'm going to get a bone folder and just get that one burnished down there nicely to get that nice and flat. And then this layer, I'm going to bring the big shot on. Now I'm going to use the big one tonight. I've got everything ready, and you know what? The dies that I was going to use have gone. Now how could I get everything I wanted? And then I've probably covered it up with something, haven't I? Excuse me one moment. Got everything to hand. There they are. I'm going to be using my favourite, the Stitch Greenery. This is gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure it is holding over to the new catalogue. So we have our sandwich. This is the big machine you've got here tonight. So just about get that in the camera. So this is going to go onto this layer here. Now, it's an all-over design, but you'll see all those gorgeous pieces in there. Hi Mindy, nice to see you. I'm going to place my card on there. Now this will be going downwards onto my cutting plate. So I've got everything to hand-ish around me. So I'm going to place this on that's my curly one, so I will place you on the new mat. Okay, and this is going to cut onto that surface, and then this is my bendy one, and I'm just going to roll that through. That's not going through very well. I think I need my shim in there. So I just grabbed the shim, just a sec. Thought it was all together. It wasn't. Like I say, it's been a bit of a rush today. I've had some ladies in with me, and then by the time I had tea, I've just been chatting with one of my team, and yes, the day has gone. Sorry for the jiggle. This one's a little bit more heavy duty machine. Where are you from, Mindy? Just introduce yourself so I know where you're calling from, where you're joining me from. So this one here, the stitch greenery, it is gorgeous. I love it. Oh, I've got some scissors out. So I'm just going to lift up the corner of this just to get it started very, very slightly. And then it will all just peel up. Because you're pressing this card into those stitches, and we're going to peel this off. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It does ruck up a little bit, but look at those stitching on there. It's kind of giving it texture, making those stitched little pieces all the way through there. And I love this bit. So while we're in here with the machine, I'm going to pop that to one side, and then we're going to take the Sending Hugs stamp set. Okay, we've got the stamps and the dies both in the case together. So I'm going to open up my dies here just to show you. The reason I'm picking this one is because I'm ordering this for a customer, and they are heavily reduced. I don't know what they are in the American market, but in the UK, the stamps were £20. The stamps are underneath. I've got the big one out. The stamps were £20. They're now down to 16, and the dies are actually half price. Cold and rainy day. We've had some awful weather as well, Mindy, really awful. It's just torrential this afternoon, just as my customers nearly left, and they hung on a little bit longer. So yeah, absolutely atrocious weather. And then you know, a little bit later we've got a blue sky. So these are the dies I'm using tonight. I'm going to take just the hugs, the word hugs. Okay, we're not using this one today, but I will show you some samples that I've done previously. So I'm going to take this one, and I want these letters to be in random colours. So I'm going to see what I can find on the floor beside me. And let's just have a look here. 1, 2. I'll do that one. And that one. Let's just see. I've got to take a little time. I'm trying to look for little samples, little pieces, so that I don't waste too much. I think I'm going to go with that one. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my big scissors, and I'm just going to cut the whole set of the letters for each one. It's far easier that way, but I'm just cutting some of these pieces, and I'm going to place them onto my die cutting mat. So I will do them one at a time, and then I will introduce you to the next step. So I have I've got 4 times we'll pass this through. Okay, so these words on here are fabulous. They die cut really, really nicely. So I've got my take your pick brush, and I've also got the pointy end on the end here. So I'm just going to push that on there to release those. And just make sure that I put those on the table just safely so they don't run away. Now we do need to press these through sometimes just to help them release from the die. If you've got a set that's persistently clinging and doesn't want to let go, then I recommend you put a piece of wax paper to the die. So if you were finding that they were really, really clinging in there and really sticking, get some wax paper and put the wax side to here, and then lay them on your card so it's cutting the wax before it cuts the cardstock. Okay, that will help them release really quickly. You can see mine just in the corner of the screen there, that I've got that set cut nicely. Okay, and then I'm going to take another little piece of card here and cut the next ones. So we will, by doing it this way, it is giving you 4 sets really. And I could have switched over to the little machine, but I've just got the big one out today. I have a big craft room, but it's only room on the table for one, especially when I've had people crafting with me today. It's kind of got a lot of stuff around me. So I'm just going to punch this one out. Release all those nice letters. So this is actually the negative from there. Look how beautiful that is. So I'm just going to push, I'm just poking these out off camera just so that they fall out into a little pile nicely. Okay. So I like to often use what I've got on the table. As I said at the beginning, sometimes if your mojo goes or you've got something you need to do in a hurry, you're not quite sure what to make, grab your Stampin' Up catalogue, because that is a great source of inspiration. Okay, so pop that one over. And we've got this one. Okay. And then run this one through. This plate is a little bit curly, but hey, that's doing okay. And then I have one more colour to do. So I'm running each one, so I'm going to have each letter on a different colour. So again, I'll use the brush over the top first. There are just a few dots top and bottom, so we do need a little helping hand along here. There we go. Poke those out there. So I have been playing with some other bits and pieces, but I've got some samples, some other samples I'll be able to show you, just to whet your appetite a little bit more. Anybody on here that's already got the Healing Hugs set? It's a die and stamp and die bundle, but it's been a lovely addition to my collection, and I won't be parting with it when the catalogue finishes because I do really like it. So get that one out, and then I need one more colour. I thought I'd got 4, and I need one more. Let's just have a little bit of this one, I think. And again, I just need a little snippet out of the side there to cut this one. You're going to be intrigued, I think, what's happening here. Just a little piece out of the corner. And another one to cut. And run that through. We did a similar card today, one of the other samples I'm going to show you, and it's quite interesting to do different combinations of letters. And the one earlier that I'll show you at the end was alternating letters between 2 colours. So just run this over here, help that ease that out the sides, and poke that one out. There we go. There we go, nearly out. There we go, we're all coming there. Okie doke. So I'm going to leave that little pile of letters and pop that back in the stamp set. And we're going to go back to our 2 layers. So I'm going to zoom you in now because we're a little bit away from the screen. So if I zoom this in, you better see me a little bit better. There we go, nice and quick. So I'm going to take my Tombow and I'm going to stick this layer down onto the card. Just a little drizzle around the edges. Make sure you get the corners and the edges and a little scribble in the middle. There's no right or wrong on this one at the moment. It's just decorating that layer. Now, we had a conversation today. I never like to texture emboss my front layer of my card. And I think this goes for it as well, because when you run this front cover through your embossing folder, it does break the fibres and it does weaken it. Now, this is pretty similar because it's piercing that surface, so I like to have it as a layer, which is what they've done in the sample on the screen here on the catalogue at the moment. So that's that one. Now I need a piece of my basic white, and I'm going to just refer you back to this one. We're going to stamp the image or partial image on here, so I'm going to do that piece next. So I have my Stamparatus, okay, because the girls have been using this today. I'm going to move those out of the way. I have a piece of scrap in here which does help me line up what I want to stamp on. So I'm going to find a section of card, and I think I'm going to be lucky that that one's going to fit across there. We can always trim it down. So I'm going to use that one for now, and making sure that I anchor that down without catching on the stamp set itself. Okay, so those are in the way. Let's bring that down there. Okay, does seem to be a little bit on the stiff side. This might be the new one. It's not been well oiled. And I need to bring that over just slightly because it's not catching the edge. I'll bring that over a bit more actually. The magnets are holding it down onto the sheet, so I'm quite happy with that. That's nearer the middle. So once you've got it in position and it's straight, I'm going to grab my basic black Memento ink. So I really need a case under here. I'll put my chamois underneath there, then it keeps it nice and flat. You've probably heard me say that several times. So I just slide that over and just tap that well into the middle. There we go. So I'm going to turn that over. I've got my little ice hockey pusher just to press that down in the middle. I got the ladies today using this, and that they were amazed at what a difference it makes to pressing with your hands or with your palm, your wrist piece in here. Okay, that's a really nice, crisp, clear image. I'm really pleased with that. So by leaving the scrap paper in there, I can just close that, and that the ink I can clean later. Okay, pop you over there. So now we have this piece. Now I'm going to bring on some colours for you. My tweezers, my trusted tweezers, and here's a nice selection of letters. So we've got hugs in here several times, so we just need to work out which order we want to put them. So I think I might use this one and you. No, I won't. I'll do the split those two up. Now I'm going to ask you, do you recognize the colors that I'm using on here? If we've got demonstrators on here, you might well recognise. I have some new colours I'm using. So I have got 4 new colours there. So these are 4 of our 5 new in colours. I'll move those ones out of the way. Okay, so you can see those colours. So I'm going to go through those with you. We have, first of all, we have the sweet sorbet. So that is this red, pinky red. It's near to the Poppy Parade, but it's a sweet sorbet, so it's just slightly different, a pinkier tinge than that. Then we have Tahitian Tide. So that's this one. These are, like I say, the 5 new in colours. So Tahitian Tide. And then we have one of my favourites. This one is Parakeet Party. Now, if you've been around with Stampin' Up for a while, you might remember Lucky Limeade. Now, I think this is a paler shade of the Lucky Limeade, but it's a really beautiful colour. Love this one. And then the last one, last but not least, we have Starry Sky. So this one here is it's a deep blue, but it has got that purple tones. So they are beautiful colours. So look out for those coming and gracing our presence in the next few weeks. These are 4 of the colours I've chosen to use tonight. Now, when you use the outlines, we could take the green one, the parakeet. When you're looking to place these, this is one die piece, and it cut all 4 of those images out together. Okay, so they're nicely spaced, and you know they're going to be in a good place. If you're using this yourself, and you want to place them, line them up sensibly on your page, I would recommend that, I'm going to get a different contrast so you can see. If you applied glue to the back of this, I would anchor this down with maybe on your Stampin' Artist plat and use a magnet either end so you know it's going to anchor it down. And I would apply the glue and then pop this through the middle of those letters and press that down and make sure that that's adhered. Then you can put the rest in, and then you can peel that off, and these will be left at a nice spaced evenly. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you. So I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm just going to take my Tombow, just drizzle this down the edge. If you squeeze very, very gently and just spread, you can get a very light glue application on there. I'm going to pop that on there. Okay, just raise that a little bit. There we go, just get those straight. And then the next one, so Tahitian Tide is next. These are gorgeous colours. I am loving them. I love the last 5, but you will know that there's 5 that are going to be retiring. So we need to be careful. And some of the suppliers, I know the re-inkers have already sold out. It's inevitable at this time of year. That's the sort of thing that goes first, so that people can re-ink their pads. I recommend when you buy a new ink pad that you buy the re-inker with it, especially if it's colours that you really like. I've got these ones on order, they are coming through, and that one's going to sit on there. So a little bit of old meets new and a little bit of variance because I've introduced you to the new colours. As demonstrators, we're not allowed to show you the inside of the catalogue at the moment until it actually goes live, but when we have products in our hands we can actually share. So that's why I'm allowed to give you this today. So this panel, I'm going to trim a little piece off here. Just looking for my mini trimmer. I'm going to bring my card back on and I'm going to look for what sort of depth I want on here. We're only taking a banner across the middle here. So I kind of want that to be just a little bit either side of those letters. So I've got a mini trimmer and I do just want it to be a banner through the middle. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to use this guide here. If you can find a landmark somewhere on your trimmer where you can actually line that up with, I'm going to line that up with the bottom of the H, and it's buttered up to the top there. So I'm going to pop that on there and I'm going to cut it off. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around and do the same this side. So the bottom of the H, because the H is in the middle, the bottom of the H is here and it's in line with that panel. Okay. So that's the piece that we're going to see going through the middle there, like so. And then we need to cut this one closer, and then I'm going to centre mine. So I want that to end up being 10.5 in the middle here. Okay, so 10.5 is there. So I want to get it evenly placed. Just spend a little bit of time getting it between there and the cutting mat. So I think that that's going to go well. If in doubt, go a little bit on the bigger side, and you can always trim a bit more off, but you can't put it back again when you've come a little bit under, just there. Okay, and take those out of the way, and then hopefully this is going to be my panel that's going to come through the centre. There we go. Now I think I'd like to just accent that either side a little bit. So I'm going to change it slightly. I think it's not coloured in the catalogue, so I think I'm just going to leave it with that banner, but I'd like a little bit of a contrast on here, and I'm just wondering which of those colours is going to go best. I think I like this dark blue, so the Starry Sky. So I'm going to take this, just going to try it. This is what experimenting is like. You can just try and see whether you like it or not. So I'm going to take the 10.5, which is the width of my card, from outer edge each side, and if I place this in my trimmer here, I'm going to move it over so you can see better. Where the trimmer is here, there's 2 lines in there, and now you can butt this up to the inside one here on the shiny piece, or you can go to the next level. Both of those have a ridge, and they're really handy when you want to just put a border on like I'm doing today. Just literally get it in there so it's just tight, and cut that. That's one piece. And then do exactly the same again, bring that up and just cut that one. So then we'll have 2 evenly sized pieces. It doesn't matter what the width is, I just happen to know they're about 1.3 centimetres, but it really doesn't matter. Now I want to just accent this piece because it looks like it's just left in limbo, so I'm going to put a little border at the top and a little border at the bottom. So the easiest way to do this is to take your strips here, and I'm going to do about half of this. I'm just going to put some adhesive over. Oh, lovely Tombow, because you've got a bit of wiggle room with that. And I'm going to lay this along the top here. So I want it just to have a tiny little accent, and evenly across there. So just slide that until it's nice and even. Okay, and press that down. And then I'm going to do the same the other end. So I'll put the same over about half of the image. card. Okay, and then do the same here. Just the same depth as we've got this end. And put a little accent on there. Okay, then we have our paper snips, the best in that I've ever had, our paper snips. They are so sharp and right to the tips as well. So they're really, really good piece to have. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back on here, like so, and that makes all the difference, just having that little bit on there. I'm going to take my tweezers. I can see there's a little bit of glue just oozing out around there, so I'm just going to take that out. There we go. And I'm just going to get some Stampin' Dimensionals, which my girls were using earlier. Let me just get those. Went back in the drawer early. So I have my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to put some around, well, cover it well on the back here. There's nothing worse than having things dent in and just sagging a little bit. So I like to have one on each corner, and then I'll come into the centre here, just slightly in. Okay, and take those off. Like I say, these are terrific value, and the diversity you can do with this set is really, really lovely. I'll pop those in a bin. There we go. So this one is going to come under here, just about there. You position this where you like. I've just got a tiny little edge showing either side, and there is my piece done. Now I like it on the black and white. I think that looks nice, and it's just bringing those popping colours in the middle. So then we have to have, it's kind of like a given that we have to have some embellishments on here. Just going to see what I can find for you. They're a little bit on the big side. I have my clear rhinestones, but I think I wanted a little bit, I'm going to use some of the pearls today, I think. Now, if you wanted to, you can colour the pearls and the rhinestones. You can colour all of those in, like I've done one at the top here. Just go gently round the edge outside with a nib, and then just over the top. But I wanted them, because I wanted a neutral colour, I'm just going to use some of these little ones and just dot them around, just randomly. 3 on the bottom, either in 3s or 5s, but never, try not to keep them in even numbers. Okay, so that's 3 on there. Pop that out of the way. Now, I do like to add a little bit extra if I can. That's a brand new one. Let's get that one. So I'm going to use my Wink of Stella, because Wink of Stella is gorgeous. And I'm going to squeeze this onto the piece of scrap card that I had just now, and just get it so that there's some ink running down here and the glimmery effect on there. You might not get to see this on the camera, but I'm just going to colour this in. Just highlight some of the outside pieces here, or you can colour in the letters themselves. Okay, so I'm just going to come around these and colour the letters. Just squeezing that through. And I'll hold this up to the camera in a second. It has got some lovely glitter coming through here, so that's good. I'll turn that slightly to get to my H. Okay, there we go. So there is the sparkle from the hugs from the Wink of Stella. So Wink of Stella, you like the blue border, it just gives it that accent. It didn't have it in the catalogue, and the layer was slightly in, but I do like that, just accents, and it pulls through the Starry Sky cardstock that we've used here as well, so it just kind of lifts it, and the gems go on there. You could colour those, but I wanted just that neutral look. Now, if you want to, you can actually colour in some of the flowers. There are some definite blooms on here, and I do like to colour. You can't really see colour. This sounds a bit daft, but you can't really see the colour, but you can see kind of like a creaminess to the colouring in. So I'm just taking some of these larger blooms. They're leaves, those are blooms. Okay, and get that piece of card back and just squeeze that through again, just to make sure you've still got the ink running. Okay, and if you are joining me for the first time, you never throw away your Wink of Stellas. Okay, when they run out of ink and you can't squeeze anymore, there is mica round the whole of this barrel inside. So if you unscrew and squeeze it under a running tap and just suck in some water, and then you put the lid back on and shake it up. You've got the ball bearing in there, shake it up, and then you will wash some of that mica off there and it will carry on painting. I must have at least 15 of these brushes over the time since we've had them, and they still keep on producing a little bit of glitter. Obviously, the more you fill it up, it will eventually go clear, but until then you can enjoy that glitter. And also, when it has all gone, all the glitter has disappeared, then you can continue using it as a water brush. So you've got a free water brush then. So if I bring that up to the camera, hopefully you'll just be able to see where I've just coloured in some of those images. Just around here, it kind of looks a little bit more creamy, but it's because it's got that silvery tinge in there. Okay, so that's my casing the catalogue, and I'm going to bring the image back up to you. Just turn that round again. So that's the one we cased, and then this is the one that I actually did. So it's very similar, but it's got some differences to it. Okay, but I wanted to introduce you to the new in colours. So that's one card, just adding some of those on there. So I'm going to put that to one side because that's those beautiful colours. And then I'm going to bring on another one that I've done with this same set, just because if you haven't got it, you've got limited time left to get it. Now, this was one of our copper foils. There is no stamping on this card whatsoever. So I've done the envelope. This is a note card and envelope, and I've used one of the hostess papers with the lovely dots on it. So this one here is a layer of the copper, and then I've die cut this fancy piece from the middle of that, because you're only seeing the border around the outside, followed by a piece of the designer series paper again on the top. And this is just one of the die cuts in there, making a little tulip shaped flower and some greenery. Very, very simple. That's all there is to it. Just a couple of layers and then the black letters stuck onto the top. So that's a really nice one. I like that one. And then this one, I think I did live online, either on Facebook or on here on YouTube. This is an easel card. So this just pops up like so as an easel. So it's got that little shape to it. So it starts off with a standard card just folded in half, which is that piece. And then you fold it back again in half on yourself. And then the panel on the front just sits on that tent piece. Okay, so this one here has been coloured a little bit with the blends pens, and then the stamp underneath coloured in, and then just the green layer. Okay, and then a couple of the little sentiments. Because I cut two pieces out, I've gone alternate letters, and then I didn't know what to do with the other letters, so I did the alternate ones on the inside. So we've got the pink layers, and then we've got the freesia layers as well. Okay, these little tiny sentiments are in the set. Just bring that over. So each of those little messages are in here, and they have the little banner. There's two sizes of banner in there. So you've got those two banners to cut out the greetings. Okay, really nice set. There's 8 in that dies in that set. Okay, the big one that gives the filigree, and then these little pieces as well. So I keep some spare offcuts in there. So I really love this set, and as I said, there's a couple of samples that I've done earlier, previously, and so this one's an easel card, and then you've got tonight's case. Okay, so you've got a nice little collection of those there, just to help you if you haven't chosen this one yet in your shopping cart and you wish to order, then please contact myself if you're in the UK, or you can contact your demonstrator if you're overseas. Okay, that's all my card for tonight. I'm just introducing you to that set nice and quickly. If you've got anything that you would like to see me demonstrate for you, I'm here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, and then I'm on Facebook Live every Sunday at 8 o'clock, an hour earlier. Okay, so please do feel free to come and join me and send me your requests. I'm just going to take that off and bring you across here. There we go. If you do have a request, then please just drop me a line, send me a message, put a note on the bottom of the video here, and please like and share if it's your first time that you're visiting me. Okay, so thanks again for joining me tonight. It's been a little bit shorter tonight. I will be back next week with another tips and tricks on something that I find in my repertoire to share with you. Okay, so take care, stay safe.